Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your July bonus reading. We are going to jump right in here, Taurus. You have this Come to the Edge card and this Regeneration card. I am pretty sure that you've had that Come to the Edge card with me a bunch of times, and it's a card of pushing yourself past that point where you would normally give up on something. It could also represent pushing yourself like through a comfort zone or past a comfort zone. Here you go. Literally the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is my card of needing to leave a comfort zone. It is the card of needing to leave a comfort zone. He has his village right down here, and that's literally what it represents, is leaving a comfort zone. He is standing where he has always been, and he thinks that there's nothing more for him to see in the world, but really he has the whole world in his hands. So I feel for a lot of you, this reading is encouraging you to push past a comfort zone, like I said, or push past that point where you would normally give up on something. You always get this spider card almost every single time I use this deck, which is pretty crazy. So we're going to talk about it. You have this Seven of Pentacles. You have two sevens here right next to each other, here and here. And two sevens is internal fears that don't exist. So if there are any fears about moving, especially having, based off what I see here about moving forward on, a big project or a comfort zone, I think now is the time for you, if you're, especially, let me put it this way, with the Seven of Pentacles, if you're wondering if you're ready, then I feel this is saying you are definitely ready to do something. You are definitely ready to get started. So now is the time here, Taurus, with the Seven of Pentacles. I kind of feel like you've gathered, like all fixed signs, I feel like you've gathered a lot of information over the past many years. But now that you have information, even the bottom of your clarifying deck, by the way, is the Seven of Pentacles. But, what I would say is now that you have the information necessary to move forward on a project, goal, wish, dream, whatever you're doing, it's time to move forward. Even your crossing energy is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands would represent quick success or quickly moving forward, but it's your crossing energy. I kind of feel that there's a need for focus here, Taurus. So the Eight of Wands is a really good card. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. Because it represents quick success or a quick conclusion. But, traditionally this card was your arrows of love, meaning that you're kind of like telling the universe what you want in a love connection, and the universe delivers that to you. But, really it could be your arrows of anything. It's basically what you focus on is what you get. And so I feel your focus is going to be important, but I also feel there is a need to focus on things that are working. I kind of feel for maybe the first time in a long time, you're actually able, and you are working on a lot of things right now in your life. But again, I would pick the things that are working and not waste a bunch of time on things that are not working with the Eight of Wands. I also feel this could be like a social thing as well with the Eight of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands here, but then we have the Devil over here in the area of your closest relationships. And I don't think this is anything necessarily bad, right? But I just think that the Devil is kind of saying pay attention to who you surround yourself with, pay attention to the people that you're giving energy to, and make sure you're giving it to the correct things, and also make sure that there aren't people who are kind of it's almost like I see, sand in an engine. It's like you're going in a direction, you want to move quickly, Eight of Wands, but there could be those people that are kind of like sand, being put into your oil in your car. It's like causing, this friction and, causing things to not work properly. So I feel like there's a need to examine, who you surround yourself with. And if there are any of those people that slow things down, I would pay attention. In the area of what's on your mind, you have the Queen of Pentacles. You could also be attracting a Capricorn, or, it could be any sign, really. But you have Capricorn here. You have the Devil showing up in your closest relationships. And as I always say, the Devil doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could just be a person that you're attracting into your life. And, they could happen to be a Capricorn. I do feel like you're thinking a lot about money and your finances and, kind of like what to do with your money. Queen of Pentacles is a card of being resourceful. And, for a long time now, pretty much everyone has been getting messages about needing to be resourceful and needing to make sure, again, that their resources are being used wisely. In the area of your foundation, you have the Ace of Cups. So very connected to your heart. Every reading I do for you, Taurus, is all about your heart and your connection to your heart. The Ace of Cups is about doing things that cause your heart to overflow. Doing things that have an endless flow to them. That cup can just reach down into the water below it and fill itself back up. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel like this dove here, the dove can represent and offer peace, but the dove is dropping the Eucharist here back down into that cup. And sometimes I feel like the dove is about, kind of taking action. It's like without that dove doing that, the cup would not overflow. So your heart has to be at peace. You have to be at peace as a person for the cup to overflow. And again, I kind of get that whole, the devil here needing to make sure that you're at peace and there aren't people who are interrupting your peace so that you can flow. And, again, obviously if you have people that are getting in the way, then there might be some changes that need to be made so that you can get back into the flow. And that's really, I basically said that. Next, in the area of your past, this is the energy you're moving past. You have this playfulness and cooperation card. You also have this anchor. It says stability and security on it. I do feel like you're moving away from security in the sense that, the universe is asking Taurus to take bigger risks, and that's really what I would focus on here, is kind of like taking bigger risks. We are, I personally believe that we're in a time where everybody should be taking risks, but we're not talking about, jumping out of an airplane risk. We're talking about, the risk of speaking up, the risk of sharing your mind with a person, the risk of leaving a comfort zone. We're not talking about, like big dangerous risk here. We're talking about little things. I do feel like there is, and I don't think you're moving away from playfulness or cooperation. I actually feel like you need more playfulness and cooperation in your life, definitely more playfulness. You have the Two of Wands here, which we kind of already talked about, but, I think you need to leave comfort zones. I think you always get this spider spirit with me, maybe not every time, but pretty much, a lot of times you get these cards about the story that you tell. I kind of feel like with the spider, it's a process. The spider has to weave its web so that it can catch bugs. And I feel like there are like better, more simple processes that you could be following. And this is in work or business. And so I would look at what you're, the work that you're doing, and, feel free to leave comfort zones and look at, any other process. There could be people that could be an example for you. There could be books that describe a process, but there's clearly something here about you in the process that you follow. Again, you have this spider. It says, make your dreams real. You have the snake. It says, a time to heal. Almost every single person has also had something about healing. So this week, I would say like the first couple weeks of July, really the whole summer, but, we're entering into Leo season soon enough. And it could be just a great time to heal, rest, relax, recover. I always think of, Leo season, even though it's not until like the end of the month, doesn't matter. You can start now. I always say astrology is like a wave. You can catch the wave early and it's better. So, you might as well start now, but a great time to get healthy, focus on your health, all those other things. I also feel, like I said, that there could be a process that you need to stick to here with that spider spirit. We even have the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is for you, then it's for you. But I feel like the Seven of Wands is about you sticking to some sort of process in your work. And if you can do that, I feel it could lead to a lot of success. I would be careful of being stuck to a process as well. So let's say you're doing something that isn't working. I would also pay attention to that, because it's like maybe you're trying to catch bugs as a spider, but you're like trying to chase the bugs down instead of just weaving a web. It's almost like I see you doing the wrong thing, the wrong process, right? We even go here down to the Four of Cups in the next few months. And the Four of Cups, we're going to come back to this in just a second. I want to read. I already read your, these other cards here, right? So, no, I wanted to read these. So we're going to come back to this. But what I want to say is that the Four of Cups can be disappointment. So, but again, tarot isn't set in stone, so you can avoid this by being flexible. You have this Underworld card, and this is the last row here, and it just says, find unconventional ways to explore new sources of income. There you go, like new processes, things you've never thought of before. You have this Designer card that says, find creative strategies to improve your finances. So I think creative, the spider is even like a feminine energy of creativity. So, creative, new, different, all those things are going to be a good idea for you. Again, you have this Four of Cups, which could represent disappointment. You could see those Four Cups, though, and I always say that the Four Cups, it's like he has all the ingredients necessary to make something very successful. He just needs to mix them all together and pop it in an oven. So I feel for a lot of you that this is about you needing to kind of like mix everything together and pop it in the oven so that it can be more successful. And that's what I would do here. I also feel like there's something here about like not being too stuck to an idea. He is disappointed maybe because he tried something and it didn't work out, but really there's like a bunch of opportunity. Those 4 cups, we could say each one is a different way of doing things. And if he just starts experimenting, then, that will kind of lead to the most success. There's like a little bit of a nostalgia with the Two of Wands because he has that wand behind him. And sorry, I can't do that with my left hand, but or my right hand, I should say. And he's got that wand behind him, and the wand kind of is complete, this one here, and he's reaching forward to a new wand. So I feel like there are, maybe some old ways of doing things, especially if we're talking work or business here. I feel like maybe maybe you were in an industry and where things have always been done a certain way or whatever. And I feel like this is, it's like things have changed is what this is saying. It's like those things aren't necessarily going to work, so you have to be flexible and try new things. You have the Devil. This is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. I would be careful. I have like a theory about Mars retrograde, and is this accurate tarot? No, this is Chris's crappy astrology here. I mean, is it accurate astrology? Probably not. But, again, my theory on Mars retrograde is that the whole entire year that it starts, which is starting at the end of the year, that you should avoid kind of like conflicts in the home, creating conflict with people, arguing with people, having blowouts, things like that. So I always think it's a good idea to pay attention during Mars retrograde years. I also think that, number one, that this could be a Capricorn, not really love reading. There's like a little bit of love here, and we'll see what comes up when we clarify. But, I would be careful of that. But there could be, I do kind of feel that Capricorn energy. So, that's always a possibility. But mostly what I would say here is, be careful of allowing your good connections to kind of influence you is what I'm getting here. It's like there might be connections with people you care about. And I feel this is saying, like, don't bring your personal life into your work wife, your work wife, right? So if you have a work wife, do not bring your toxic stuff into that relationship either. There you go. You have the High Priestesses coming up in the area of your future feelings, feeling very intuitive. It's almost like you know how things are going to turn out before they actually turn out, right? And it's like in a very short period of time, I feel like the universe is teaching you to really trust your feelings on something. So that's kind of like a weird message, and I don't even know how to like fully express the message that I'm getting on this card, but it's almost like you're having experiences right now. I think you've already had some this year where it's like you had feelings about things that you didn't listen to, and now those things are coming true, or you're discovering that certain things you believe weren't true or are true. I don't know, take it how it resonates. And I feel like this is saying that you've had to learn to trust your intuition very quickly, and I would definitely do that. This is also a card of mystery, and I always think that the High Priestess is trying to tell us to learn about secrets. Like, it is a card of secrets, but it says you don't have to let something exist in the unknown. You can educate yourself on whatever you don't know about, and if you learn about it, the things you don't know, love, career, whatever, then you can become wiser and more successful. You have the Two of Swords as your outcome here. I think you need to make a decision on something, like stick to it and see it through to the end. She has this island behind her, and I always say the Two of Swords is my card of third place solutions. She's thinking this or that, but there's really a better solution behind her. So I again, with the flexibility, being flexible at this time, it's pretty straightforward. This reading, as far as I'm concerned, but let's see what comes up here, Taurus. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, you have the Fool. Yeah, this is you taking a leap of faith, like taking the chance to be foolish. Like, what would happen if I took this risk in business and everybody made fun of me? Or, if I started that relationship and everybody made fun of me or whatever. It's like, this is, taking that type of risk. And I feel like any risks that you take are going to pay off, especially, we're talking about calculated risk here. We're talking about a risk where you kind of have done the research, you know what could go wrong, but you're going to do it anyway because you've also learned. And, again, I kind of get that feeling. It's almost like you're over-prepared. He has this tiny little sack on his back, and he's about to go through the entire major arcana. So he's going on this very long journey with pretty much just everything that's right here, right between his two ears. So it really tells me that you are, like, over-prepared for something that you want to do. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Magician. The Magician is about kind of manifesting, of course, so you could be manifesting better finances very quickly with the Magician. I also feel like the Magician is another card of focus. He is focusing on these plants, these flowers, I should say, that are right in front of him. He knows that he has to focus on, the good stuff. He has to focus on love, joy, happiness. That's like the highest vibration is love. So that's what he focuses on to manifest. And that's what I would do here with the Magician. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, the Queen of Swords, I think, is saying that you see clearly. She's showing up here. She always faces towards the future in a reading. And so she sees clearly what she needs to do now. I kind of feel like you are seeing more your heart clearly, which for the whole entire year, this year, Taurus, all your readings have been, pretty much about your heart and heart-based energy. So I feel like you see clearly the steps you need to take. With the Two of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. It's almost like this is actually turning out pretty good because Knight of Pentacles is playing it too safe, not taking big enough risks. He's actually not making any movement at all. He's just standing where he has always been. He has these empty fields behind him, and if he were to plant in those empty fields, they would grow. His seeds would grow. And it's coming up in the energy of what you're moving past. So I do feel that you are kind of moving past the energy of being too cautious. I feel like you are moving past the energy of, playing it too safe. I think, and now that I say this, it's like I've been telling you for the past 2 readings were all about you swinging the bat, right? You kind of really going for the home runs and not playing it safe. So there you go. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Six of Wands, success. I feel like saying success will come to you. It's like if you're worried whether or not you're going to be successful with something, this is a card of victory and success. He's kind of sitting on this high horse here, victorious. He's come through, past a long journey. The story of the Six of Wands is that he's coming back from war. He's been through a very difficult period of time, and now he's able to be victorious. So I feel that there is a victory coming in for you. With the Four of Cups, you have the Three of Cups, celebration and happiness. It's like it's almost like the opposite in my head, the 2 cards, even though they're not. They're not the opposite. But it's like the Four of Cups is you kind of only listening to your own ideas. I feel like the Three of Cups is you combining ideas and mixing things together. So, again, I think it would be a great time for you to experiment, especially in work or business. But, this goes for all areas of your life. And I would look at other people's ideas or other people's plans. It's almost like, like I said, there's a comfort zone from your past of things that used to work. And I feel mixing your ideas with other ideas would be a really good idea. It'll probably lead to a lot more success. With the Devil, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, this right here is talking about teamwork. The Devil, in a certain way, the Devil could say that you are just stuck and bound to old ideas. And the 2 threes here could say that other people also have good ideas that could be very beneficial for you. 3 Cups says teamwork makes the dream work. So anything you can do to, work with other people or to share ideas could be very beneficial. I also feel like the 3 of Pentacles is a card of quality work. So he has done a good job and now he's receiving recognition. A lot of you could be receiving recognition finally for the hard work that you're doing or the things that you're doing. With the High Priestess, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, don't run away from mystery. The Knight of Swords is always running towards the past. And sometimes I feel like the Knight of Swords is running up to a certain point in his life where he's never been on the other side and he's just running away from it, from the mystery of the High Priestess. So I feel like this is kind of saying, again, what we said. Like I said, this is a very simple reading for me. I feel it's saying you need to push past those points where you don't know what's on the other side. And the High Priestess, pretty much says the same thing. She has to dig into mystery. She shouldn't just sit here and continue to allow what's behind her to be a mystery. And I feel this is saying, push past something that is a mystery. With the Two of Swords, here you go. You end with the Hierophant, which is you. And, this puts you in a position of power and strength. It really allows you to get what you want from the reading when you show up as yourself. The Hierophant is also about blessings, and so I feel like you could be receiving blessings from by taking a risk. But again, if you don't take the risk, if you stay stuck, then they're probably not going to come in. So I feel this is clearly saying, take that big risk, and that's where the luck will come from. You have this caterpillar. It says, things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So clearly there's a big change. Maybe you've been feeling like you're in caterpillar soup. Before a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, it has to turn into soup, basically. And then it forms up into the butterfly. And, I think that's the stage you're in. You have this carrot that says opportunity or windfall. So there could be a big windfall or an opportunity coming in. A lot of people have been getting this windfall energy, and I don't think it's going to be easy. But I think there are opportunities for us to, face the fears of the past few years, many years. And if we do that and we push past those points, that's where the windfall is. So again, I want to stress, this isn't magically going to appear in your life. You're going to have to put the work in. You have a sunrise card that says new creative ideas, new ventures, a fresh start. So I do feel like any creative ideas that you could be working on would be a really good idea with the with that spider spirit. But so you could be expressing your creativity through literally creating something. And I feel this is saying like, do it. I think it'll be good for you. You have this cup card that says you should accept valid criticism. I basically got this on the devil that there could be people who see things a different way, and I would just stay flexible on those ideas. It doesn't mean you have to completely implement other people's lives into your life, but what I do think it's saying is like it would be a good time for you to try other things that you might not agree with, or that you're not sure what the outcome will be, or whatever the case may be. So that's what I would say here. You have this table card that says hard. Actually, you start with this younger man. It says dealings or relationships with the younger man. I always clarify these. And you have this table that says hard work ahead. So a lot of you could be working hard with other people. I don't think it just has to be a younger man. It could be multiple people that you're working with. And I think this hard work is really going to pay off for you. So it looks pretty good. There is a little bit of resistance here. I feel the energy of resistance. And I feel this is saying, like, if you could relax into something, and, especially, I really feel this reading is talking about work or business or something you're creating. And I feel like what you have to relax into is, like, if you're working with other people, the vision, the shared vision. And I feel that saying relaxing into it is going to make it successful, whatever it is. So looks really good here, Taurus. And take a risk as well. But thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.